Welcome to this video, Enterprise Risk Scenarios. Risks aren't just abstract entries in a spreadsheet, they are stories about what could go wrong. Let's learn how to tell those stories in a way that drives action. In this video, we'll create asset-based threat scenarios, map business process risks, use heat matrices for prioritization, practice scenario scoring in Excel. By the end of this video, you will be able to develop asset-based and process-based threat scenarios, map risks to business processes for operational impact analysis, prioritize risks using Excel-based scoring methods, asset-based threat stories. The asset-based approach, central to both ISO and NIST frameworks, is an excellent starting point. This method begins by identifying a critical asset and then building a threat story around it. For example, consider this scenario. An unencrypted company laptop containing sensitive client data is stolen from an employee's car. Here, the asset is the laptop and the client data. The threat is physical theft, and the vulnerability is the lack of encryption. By framing risks as these simple, relatable stories, you make them easier for non-technical stakeholders to understand. This approach allows you to systematically work through your asset inventory, servers, databases, mobile devices, and develop specific threat scenarios for each, forming the foundational entries in your risk register and connecting technical weaknesses directly to tangible business assets. While the asset-based approach focuses on technical vulnerabilities, a process-based assessment focuses on business harm. This perspective asks, what could go wrong in our key business processes? Let's take the example of an HR recruitment process. The process itself, not just the database, is the subject of the assessment. The risks here are not just technical, they are about business outcomes. For instance, a flawed process could lead to the accidental disclosure of candidate PII, resulting in significant GDPR fines and reputational damage. Or an algorithm used for screening resumes could be biased, leading to discriminatory hiring practices and legal liability. By analyzing risks at the process level, you connect your governance program directly to business operations and potential harms to individuals, which is a critical requirement for regulations like GDPR and for gaining executive support for your security initiatives. Prioritization with heat matrices. Once you have a list of risks with assigned likelihood and impact scores, you need a way to prioritize them. A risk heat matrix is the most effective tool for this. A heat matrix is a simple grid that plots likelihood on one axis and impact on the other. The cells are color-coded to represent the overall risk level, typically red for high risk, yellow for medium, and green for low. This visual representation instantly draws attention to the most critical issues. A risk that is both highly likely and has a high impact will land in a red square, signaling that it requires immediate attention and resources. This tool is invaluable for communicating with leadership, as it cuts through the complexity of the risk register and presents a clear, data-driven picture of the organization's most significant threats, enabling informed and strategic decision-making.
Let's see this in action. We'll take our asset-based threat story, the stolen unencrypted laptop, and score it in our risk register. So what you see here is this generated moment, right, of this risk register with those risk IDs that we deleted, but now they're back. That's okay. It's just generic stuff that the Copilot is providing us with when we ask about specific columns. And I think it's very, very nice overview here. As I said, we could even sort it or whatever, right? And we are here. And then it says that, okay, we can have those drop-downs made only on data validation without Copilot. That's okay. It's very good. It's actually admitting. And what I did, I just clicked this describe changes, right? And I said, I need a theft of unencrypted laptop containing client data. And then update the table. All right. It's working. And then we have physical theft. Okay. Conditional formatting, because I was asking about the possibility to, for example, make the conditional formatting to get like medium likelihood, high impact as red, right? To make the colors. It's also some nice suggestions on how to do it manually, but that's okay. If we don't have it, we can still live with it. As you saw, it was asking me to make autosave, which is pretty important to turn on this autosave. Otherwise, this Copilot is not working. When you go to Home and then you click Copilot here to open on the right, it will ask you again to autosave. Otherwise, you cannot really ask questions here for some reason, especially when you're in this business version as I have here. But what we did is that we have theft of an encrypted laptop containing sensitive client data, right? And they added what we wanted. We have affected asset, we have threat, theft, we have vulnerability, no this inscription, existing controls like physical logs, employee training, impact high. And then we can take it from there to turn this vulnerability into recommendation and some risk management plan in the future iterations, right? So this simple exercise demonstrates how to turn a qualitative scenario into quantitative priority, driving immediate action and focusing resources where they matter the most.
Let's do a quick recap of the key learnings from this video. Here's what we've learned. Asset-based approaches create concrete threat scenarios. Process-based assessments focus on business outcomes. Heat matrices provide visual risk prioritization. Excel tools enable practical scenario scoring. Qualitative stories become quantitative priorities.